The world is changing. Every day, news reports tell us about new threats. We see increasing natural disasters. Political unrest is on the rise. The power grid, the backbone of our modern world, is vulnerable. A single event, like a well-placed EMP attack, could bring everything crashing down. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and there's no electricity. Your phone is dead. The television is silent. You look out the window and see chaos in the streets. This is not a scene from a movie. This is a very real threat, and it's closer than you think. When the grid goes down, transportation transforms from convenience to survival. Your vehicle becomes a lifeline, a mobile fortress, a way to escape danger and reach safety, but only if it's up to the task. A car crippled by an EMP, stranded without fuel, becomes a liability. Instead of a path to safety, it becomes a trap, leaving you vulnerable and exposed. The good news is that you can take steps now to prepare your vehicle for the unthinkable. Risks and taking action, you can transform your car from a liability into a lifeline. This video will be your guide. We'll explore the real threat of EMPs, show you which vehicles can withstand you with the knowledge and tools to fortify your car for any situation. This is about survival. This is about taking control of your destiny. Let's get started. An EMP, or electromagnetic pulse, is not a physical attack. It's not a bomb blast or a shockwave. It's a silent, invisible surge of electromagnetic energy. Think of it as a massive power surge, but on a scale that can cripple entire nations. An EMP doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about borders or politics. It simply wipes out anything electronic in its path. There are two primary ways an EMP can be generated: naturally through a solar flare or intentionally by a high-altitude nuclear detonation. Both have the potential to cause widespread devastation to our electrical grid and anything connected to it. While a solar flare is a force of nature, a human-made EMP attack is a chilling possibility in today's world. The technology to create such a weapon is not science fiction. It exists. And the consequences of such an attack are almost beyond comprehension. Imagine a world plunged back into the Dark Ages, not gradually, but in an instant. No communication, no power, no transportation. This is the potential reality of an EMP attack. To understand the threat an EMP poses to your vehicle, you need to understand how it works. An EMP attack generates three distinct waves of electromagnetic energy: E1, E2, and E3. Each wave has a different effect on electronics. The E1 pulse is the fastest and most powerful. It's a high-voltage surge that can fry sensitive electronics instantly. The E2 pulse is slower and weaker, but it can still damage unprotected systems. The E3 pulse is the slowest, lasting for minutes or even hours. It disrupts large-scale electrical grids and can cause widespread blackouts. While the E3 pulse is the most widely understood threat to our power grid, it's the E1 and E2 pulses that pose the most immediate danger to our vehicles. These fast, high-voltage surges can bypass standard surge protectors and fry the delicate electronics that control modern cars. Think of all the computer chips, sensors, and wiring in your car. Everything from the engine control unit to the fuel injection system relies on these delicate components. An EMP attack can disable them all in a flash, turning your vehicle into a very expensive paperweight. Section 3. Modern vehicles sitting ducks. Cars built before the mid-1980s relied primarily on mechanical systems and analog electronics, making them relatively resistant to EMPs. However, today's vehicles are essentially computers on wheels. They're packed with sophisticated electronics that manage everything from engine timing to braking systems. This reliance on complex electronics makes modern vehicles highly susceptible to EMP damage. The more computerized your car, the more vulnerable it is. Luxury vehicles, with their advanced onboard computers, entertainment systems, and driver assistance features are especially at risk. But even basic economy cars are not immune. They still rely on electronic ignition systems, fuel pumps, and engine control units, all of which can be fried by an EMP. The frightening reality is that most vehicles on the road today would be rendered inoperable by a significant EMP event, and in a grid-down scenario, a non-functioning car is more than just an inconvenience, it's a death trap. Section 4. The 90% factor. According to some experts, a single well-placed EMP attack could disable up to 90% of vehicles within its line of sight. Imagine the chaos: highways and city streets clogged with dead cars, people stranded and desperate, unable to escape danger or reach safety. This is not a Hollywood exaggeration. The EMP Commission, a U.S. government commission established to assess the threat of EMP attacks, has warned that such an event could cripple our transportation infrastructure and lead to widespread societal collapse. The 90% figure is a stark reminder of our vulnerability in the face of this threat. It underscores the importance of taking steps now to protect ourselves and our vehicles. The good news is that there are ways to mitigate the risk. By understanding which vehicles offer the best chance of survival and taking steps to harden our existing vehicles, we can increase our odds of getting back on the road when the grid goes down. Section 1. The analog advantage. When it comes to EMP survival, older is often better. Vehicles built before the mid-1980s, with their reliance on mechanical systems and analog electronics, are far less susceptible to EMP damage. These vehicles are the workhorses of the pre-digital age, built for durability and simplicity. Cars from this era often lack complex electronic ignition systems, relying instead on points and distributors, purely mechanical systems that are not affected by electromagnetic pulses. Similarly, their carburetors, unlike modern fuel injection systems, don't rely on sensitive electronics to function. While these older vehicles might lack the creature comforts of their modern counterparts, they offer a level of reliability in a grid-down scenario that is priceless. They are the embodiment of the phrase "they don't make 'em like they used to." Of course, finding a well-maintained classic car is only part of the equation. You'll need to be mechanically inclined or know someone who is. These vehicles require regular maintenance and a good understanding of their inner workings, but in a world without computers and diagnostic tools, that knowledge will be worth its weight in gold. Section 2. Workhorses of the wasteland. Let's look at some specific examples of vehicles that tend to fare well in an EMP event. The 1980s Chevy K5 Blazer, a rugged 4x4 with a simple, mechanically driven engine, is a prime example. Its robust construction and lack of complex electronics make it a true survivor. Another solid option is the 1970s Ford F-150 with a points ignition system. These trucks are renowned for their durability and simplicity. Their engines are straightforward to work on, and parts are readily available. For those who prefer diesel engines, the old Toyota Hilux diesel is legendary for its reliability. These trucks can take a beating and keep on running, even after an EMP. Their mechanical fuel pumps are a major advantage as they don't rely on electricity to deliver fuel to the engine. And let's not forget about the Jeep CJ7. Especially models without an ECU or engine control unit. These stripped-down off-roaders are built for tough conditions and can handle just about anything you throw at them, including an EMP. Section 3. Can you EMP-proof a modern car? While older, simpler vehicles offer the best chance of EMP survival, you might be wondering if it's possible to EMP-proof a modern car. The answer is not a simple yes or no. While you can't guarantee complete protection, there are steps you can take to mitigate the risk. One option is to invest in aftermarket EMP protection devices. These devices, often installed near the battery or fuse box, are designed to absorb or redirect the powerful electromagnetic energy from an EMP, protecting your vehicle's sensitive electronics. Another strategy is to create a Faraday cage around your car's critical electronics. A Faraday cage is simply a conductive enclosure that blocks electromagnetic fields. You can create a rudimentary Faraday cage by lining a metal box with insulating material and storing your spare electronics inside. However, it's crucial to understand that even with these precautions, there's no guarantee that your modern car will survive a major EMP event. The best defense is to have a backup plan, which includes a secondary vehicle that's less reliant on electronics. Section 1. Gearing up for the pulse. Protecting your vehicle from an EMP is not about wishful thinking. It's about taking concrete action. Just as you would reinforce your home against a storm, you need to fortify your vehicle against the invisible threat of an EMP. Fortunately, there's a growing market of aftermarket products designed to do just that. These devices range from comprehensive whole vehicle protection systems to smaller-scale solutions that safeguard individual components. Understanding the options available is the first step in making an informed decision about how best to protect your lifeline on wheels. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, especially when dealing with a threat as unpredictable and potentially devastating as an EMP. The investment you make in protecting your vehicle could be the difference between mobility and being stranded when the grid goes down. In this section, we'll explore some of the leading EMP protection devices on the market, examining their features, capabilities, and limitations. We'll separate hype from reality, giving you the knowledge you need to make the right choice for your survival needs. Section 2, EMP Shield, a deep dive. One of the most well-known names in the EMP protection market is EMP Shield. This company offers a range of products designed to protect everything from vehicles to entire homes from the damaging effects of electromagnetic pulses. Their flagship product, the EMP Shield vehicle model, is a robust system designed for installation directly onto your vehicle's battery and frame. The company claims this device provides comprehensive protection against all three phases of an EMP event: E1, E2, and E3. EMP Shield backs its claims with rigorous testing, stating that its products meet or exceed the stringent requirements of military standard MIL-STD 461. This standard ensures that equipment can withstand the electromagnetic pulses generated by nuclear explosions. Furthermore, EMP Shield offers a warranty on its products, providing an additional layer of assurance for consumers. But as with any product claim, it's essential to examine independent test results and user reviews to get a comprehensive picture of its real-world effectiveness. Section 3. Alternatives and Augmentations. While EMP Shield is a prominent player in the market, it's not the only option available. Several other companies offer EMP protection devices for vehicles, each with its own set of features, benefits, and price points. One alternative is the Micro EMP Defender Kit, a more compact and affordable solution designed to protect individual electronic components or smaller systems within your vehicle. This kit typically includes surge protectors, filters, and shielding materials that can be installed on specific circuits or devices. For those looking to protect spare electronics or essential gear, Faraday shielding cases offer a reliable solution. These cases, lined with conductive materials, act as mini Faraday cages, blocking out electromagnetic fields and safeguarding the contents within. In addition to these dedicated EMP protection devices, several other vehicle modifications can enhance your chances of survival in a grid-down scenario. These include installing battery disconnect switches, ground loop filters, and even storing essential electronics in metal ammo cans, which act as rudimentary Faraday cages. Section 4. Testing the limits. The true test of any EMP protection device lies in its ability to perform under pressure. That's why it's crucial to look for products that have undergone rigorous testing and validation. reputable companies will subject their devices to simulated EMP events, using controlled bursts of radio frequency energy to replicate the conditions of a real-world attack. These tests measure the device's ability to absorb, deflect, or otherwise mitigate the damaging electromagnetic energy. The results of these tests, often documented in detailed reports and videos, provide valuable insights into the device's effectiveness. Pay close attention to metrics like protection coverage, which indicates the range of frequencies the device can handle, and response time, which measures how quickly it activates its protection mechanisms. However, even the most rigorous testing has its limitations. It's impossible to perfectly replicate the full intensity and chaos of a real-world EMP event. Therefore, it's essential to maintain a healthy dose of skepticism and understand that no device can offer 100% guaranteed protection. Beyond the Faraday cage hardening your vehicle for anything, shielding your vehicle's electronics from an EMP is a critical step, but it's only the beginning. In a grid-down scenario, you'll face a cascade of challenges: roadblocks, debris, potential civil unrest, and the need to navigate without GPS or reliable communication. Your vehicle needs to be more than just EMP-resistant. It needs to be hardened for anything. This means thinking about its physical resilience, its off-road capabilities, and its ability to serve as a mobile base of operations. Start by assessing your vehicle's weaknesses. Are the bumpers sturdy enough to push aside obstacles? Are the tires designed for off-road use? Does the suspension provide adequate ground clearance for navigating rough terrain? Consider investing in upgrades like heavy-duty bumpers, skid plates, off-road tires, and a winch. These modifications might seem excessive under normal circumstances, but in a collapse, they could be the difference between reaching safety and being stranded. Gearing up for the long-haul essential equipment for the EMP-proofed vehicle. Equipping your vehicle goes beyond basic emergency supplies. You're not just packing for a road trip, you're outfitting a lifeline for an uncertain future. Think about the essentials for survival: shelter, water, food, communication, and self-defense. A roof rack and cargo box can significantly expand your carrying capacity, allowing you to store essential gear like a tent, sleeping bags, extra fuel, and water containers. Inside the vehicle, maximize space with organizers and storage solutions. Communication is paramount in a grid-down situation. Invest in a ham radio with a power inverter, allowing you to connect with other survivors and gather vital information. A hand-crank weather radio can provide updates on weather conditions and potential hazards. Don't forget about personal protection. A firearm with proper training and safe storage can be a crucial last line of defense. Other essential items include a fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, a comprehensive tool kit, jumper cables, a tire repair kit, and a hand-crank air compressor. From civilian to combat ready. Visualizing your survival vehicle. Imagine two vehicles side by side. One is a standard SUV, indistinguishable from thousands of others on the road. The other, though similar in make and model, has undergone a transformation. This is no ordinary SUV, this is a survival machine. Its once shiny paint is now a matte finish, reducing glare and visibility. Heavy-duty bumpers and a brush guard provide an intimidating presence, hinting at its ability to handle rough terrain. Atop its roof, a securely fastened cargo box carries additional supplies, while a spare tire is mounted with unmistakable purpose. Inside, every inch of space is maximized for storage, with essential gear organized and readily accessible. This is the difference between hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. This is the embodiment of self-reliance, a mobile testament to the will to survive. This is your vehicle, EMP-proofed and ready for anything. Or water, food, shelter, these are the pillars of survival we often think about first. But in a grid-down scenario, especially one following an EMP attack, there's another resource that quickly becomes just as critical: fuel. Imagine this. The power goes out, taking down communication networks and plunging cities into darkness. Panic sets in. People rush to gas stations only to find pumps disabled or lines stretching for blocks. Tempers flare. Order breaks down. Even if you manage to reach the pump, there's no guarantee of supply. Without electricity, fuel deliveries grind to a halt. Gas stations become modern-day ghost towns, their empty pumps a stark reminder of our dependence on a fragile infrastructure. Fuel isn't just about getting around, it's about powering generators, running essential equipment, and maintaining your mobility, your freedom in a world without rules. Without it, your carefully planned escape route turns into a dead end. Storing fuel might seem straightforward, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Safety is paramount. Gasoline and diesel are highly flammable, and mishandling them can have disastrous consequences. Start by investing in approved fuel containers. Look for sturdy, airtight containers specifically designed for gasoline or diesel. Avoid old milk jugs or other makeshift containers, as they can deteriorate and leak, creating a fire hazard. Store your fuel in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area, away from direct sunlight and heat sources. Garages, sheds, or basements can be suitable locations, but ensure proper ventilation to prevent the buildup of dangerous fumes. Never store fuel indoors near potential ignition sources, such as water heaters, furnaces, or electrical panels, and always label your containers clearly with the type of fuel and the date of purchase. When it comes to long-term fuel storage and engine reliability in a grid-down situation, diesel fuel offers distinct advantages over gasoline. Diesel has a longer shelf life than gasoline, remaining usable for months or even years if stored properly. Furthermore, diesel is less volatile than gasoline, reducing the risk of fire or explosion. And in a crisis, diesel is likely to be more readily available as it powers essential services like generators, trucks, and agricultural equipment. However, diesel engines come with their own set of considerations. In extremely cold climates, diesel fuel can gel, clogging fuel lines and preventing the engine from starting. Additionally, modern diesel engines rely on high-pressure fuel injectors, which can be more susceptible to damage from contaminated fuel. If you choose a diesel vehicle for its reliability and fuel efficiency, be prepared to address these cold weather challenges and invest in fuel treatments and filtration systems to ensure your engine keeps running smoothly. Section 4. Mapping your fuel landscape. In a grid-down scenario, knowing where to find fuel after you've exhausted your personal supply could be the difference between life and death. It's time to think beyond the convenience of the corner gas station. Start by researching alternative fuel sources in your area. Are there marinas that sell diesel? Do any farms or industrial sites store fuel? Having a mental map of potential fuel sources could prove invaluable. Remember, acquiring fuel in a crisis requires more than just knowing where to find it. You'll need a plan for transporting it safely and securely. Consider investing in a trailer or truck bed-mounted fuel tank for larger quantities, and most importantly, be prepared for the ethical and logistical challenges of obtaining fuel in a lawless environment. Competition for resources will be fierce, and you'll need to balance your need for fuel with your personal safety and moral compass. Section 1. The day everything changes. The scenarios we're about to discuss are not meant to frighten you, but to prepare you. In a grid-down scenario, knowledge is power, and the ability to think clearly under pressure can be the difference between life and death. Imagine this. You wake up one morning, and something feels off. You reach for your phone, but there's no signal. The lights won't turn on. You try the radio, but all you hear is static. Stepping outside, you realize you're not alone. Your neighbors are gathered in the street, confusion and fear etched on their faces. The power grid is down. Your mind races. Was it a natural disaster, a cyber attack, an intentional EMP strike? The cause doesn't matter right now. What matters is that you have a plan. You grab your go bag, already packed with essentials, and head to the garage. This is the moment you've prepared for. This is where your EMP-hardened vehicle, your carefully planned escape route, and your level-headed mindset will be put to the test. This is where survival begins. Section 2 Lockdown: Bugging out under pressure. Let's consider another scenario. Rumors of unrest and potential government lockdowns have been circulating for weeks. The air is thick with tension. Then the announcement comes. A mandatory curfew, restrictions on travel, the closure of banks and businesses. You knew this could happen. Your bug-out bag isn't just a collection of gear, it's a carefully curated lifeline, packed and ready to go at a moment's notice. Food, water, first aid, tools, communication, everything you need to survive independently for an extended period. You gather your family. There's no time for panic, only action. You calmly and efficiently load your prepped vehicle. The fuel tank is full. Your pre-planned escape route, avoiding major highways and urban centers, is committed to memory. As you pull away from the curb, sirens blare in the distance. The city you once knew is now a potential danger zone. But you're not heading blindly into the unknown. You're taking control of your destiny, guided by preparation and a will to survive. Section 3. Evacuation under fire. When disaster strikes. Natural disasters are unpredictable and unforgiving. Imagine this: a wildfire, fueled by drought and high winds, is rapidly approaching your town. The sky is choked with smoke, the air acrid and hot. The evacuation order comes, but panic has already gripped the streets. Gridlock. The word sends chills down your spine. Thousands of people, desperate to escape, are now trapped in their vehicles. Highways have become parking lots, the air thick with fear and the smell of exhaust, but you're prepared. Your vehicle, equipped with a heavy-duty brush guard and off-road tires, can handle the rough terrain. A roof-mounted cargo box carries essential gear, including a fire-resistant blanket and respirator masks. You navigate back roads, relying on your pre-downloaded maps and a handheld GPS. Your vehicle, a beacon of preparedness in a sea of chaos, becomes your lifeline, carrying you and your loved ones toward safety. Surviving a grid-down scenario requires more than just a well-equipped vehicle. It demands a fundamental shift in mindset. The rules of the road, the social contracts we take for granted, may no longer apply. Fuel rationing, roadblocks manned by armed individuals, the constant threat of opportunistic crime. These are the realities of a world in chaos. You need to be alert, decisive, and prepared to improvise. Avoid traveling at night if possible. Darkness conceals both dangers and opportunities for those with ill intentions. Maintain situational awareness at all times. Know your surroundings, identify potential threats, and always have an escape route planned. Remember, your vehicle is both a shield and a target. Don't make yourself an easy mark. Park strategically, facing outward for a quick exit. Keep a low profile, avoid drawing attention to yourself, and trust your instincts. In a collapse, your survival depends on your ability to think clearly, adapt to changing circumstances, and make difficult decisions under pressure. The world we knew, the world of predictable routines and readily available resources, is an illusion. It's a fragile construct, vulnerable to forces both natural and man-made. An EMP attack, while a frightening possibility, is just one of many potential events that could shatter this illusion, plunging us into a new reality, a world defined by scarcity, uncertainty, and the struggle for survival. But this is not a time for despair, it's a time for resolve. The human spirit is remarkably resilient. We have faced challenges throughout history, adapting, overcoming, and emerging stronger from the crucible of adversity. The road ahead may be long and arduous, but it is not insurmountable. By embracing the principles of preparedness, by taking responsibility for our own safety and well-being, we equip ourselves not only to survive but to thrive in the face of uncertainty. This is not about living in fear, it's about embracing awareness. It's about acknowledging the vulnerabilities of the modern world and taking proactive steps to mitigate them. It's about transforming fear into action, uncertainty into preparedness, and vulnerability into resilience. Let's recap the essential steps you can take to safeguard your mobility and enhance your chances of survival in a grid-down scenario. Vehicle selection. Prioritize older, simpler vehicles with minimal electronics. Consider models known for their durability and ease of repair. If using a modern vehicle, explore aftermarket EMP protection devices. Vehicle hardening. Invest in heavy-duty bumpers, skid plates, and off-road tires. Consider a winch for self-recovery in challenging terrain. Optimize storage space with roof racks, cargo boxes, and interior organizers. Essential gear. Pack a comprehensive bug-out bag with food, water, first aid, tools, and communication equipment. Store extra fuel in approved containers, practicing safe handling techniques. Consider a secondary, non-electronic means of navigation, such as paper maps and compass. The decision to prepare is not about succumbing to paranoia. It's about taking control. It's about refusing to be a passive bystander in a world of increasing uncertainty. It's about equipping yourself with the knowledge, skills, and resources to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The journey begins with a single step. Start by assessing your current level of preparedness. Identify areas where you can improve, research your options, talk to experts, connect with like-minded individuals. Remember, preparedness is not a destination, it's a process. It's a journey of continuous learning, adaptation, and refinement. It's about building resilience not just for yourself but for your family and loved ones. The world is changing, whether we're ready or not. The time to prepare is now. Your journey starts today. What vehicle do you drive, and how will you make it ready for the unthinkable?